Hi, so in this session we are going to be looking at how to do just a little bit more animation. Up until this point you've learned basic keyframe animation, we've looked at keyframe assistant, keyframe interpolation, and we're just summarising all that really into one little project. So take a look at this. So we've got these hills rolling in, a tent popping up, some other stuff popping up, and then a little kind of banner popping down, and it goes to a date. It's just like a very, 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 very simple festival promo. So that's what we're going to be creating in today's session. So let's first of all have a look at the After Effects file. So if we go in, I've got all these Photoshop files which I made, and I may actually open them in Photoshop and show you how I made them, or you can just get your own clip art or images, blah blah blah. So first of all we have hill left and right. Let's look at the keyframes. They've got CC page turn on them, and I just animated them rolling in like so. So they roll in, and then we've got the tent and all this stuff popping up. So let's look at the keyframes. So first of all, tent pops up, goes a little bit too far and comes back down. Same with the Helter Skelter, the tent, festival tent, the speakers, and then this one pops down. It's all positional keyframes, and then I pre-compose this one into a composition, and you can see here it is, festival. And then as we come along, we've got, it just goes into this, so just a background with some text on top, and I think that's got blending mode on it, or linear burn, yep. And then we've just got some music at the bottom that I put over it, and so that's a nice 14-second animation. So what I'm going to do is show you how to do it, obviously, because this is a tutorial. So I'm going to go composition, new composition, and let's call it festival animation. Let's go with that. Now obviously I've got all my stuff imported here, so I'm going to delete it just so I can show you the importing it. So to import, you either go file, import, file, or multiple files, but what I do, I just double click in here, and you can navigate to your assets, whether they are clip art PNGs that you've downloaded from the internet, whether they are Photoshop files or Illustrator files. Mine's a Photoshop file, so we can either import as footage, composition, or composition, retain layer sizes, or composition. I'm going to import, I'll show you. I'll import it as footage, and it pops up with this window, and let's click footage, and basically if you do this it'll merge all the layers into one, so you don't want that one, you want composition, and I'm just going to go click OK. So if we open this, you can see we've got all of these in here, so we can turn each Photoshop layer on and off. And actually I'm just going to animate within here, so I'm going to get rid of this festival animation and these other ones by here. So first of all, in the other one we had these hills sort of turning in, so I'm going to put the hills at the top just so I can work down, and the next one I'll have is the tent popping up, that Helter Skelter thing, the festival tent, the speakers, and then sign, sky background. I'll just keep them there. So I'll turn all of them off first, apart from the sky, which is that blue background, and these two hills. Now the first thing I did was use an effect called CC page turn. So I'll just type that in, CC page turn, there it is. So I'm going to click and drag this onto hill left, and you can see our effect controls by here. So let's come out a little bit, and let's locate the fold position, so click that, there it is. And so you can, using this, drag it backwards, and obviously this is keyframeable, so I'm going to drag it all the way over here, and set a keyframe excuse me, for fold position, and then I'm going to come forward with the page down keys. I'm going to come forward about 12 frames, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and I'm going to drag it all the way over so it animates in. So if we hit U on this layer, you can see we've got a keyframe where it's all the way over here, and then it animates in. And as soon as that one's animated in, I want to start the next one, which is hill right. So CC page turn, drag it down, and let's see, now it's going to come in from the side. So you want to change bottom right corner to bottom left corner, so it comes out like so. Okay, so again, let's click to set a keyframe. So this is its initial position. Let's hit U so we can see it. Come forward 12 frames. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And let's click CC page turn and drag this back in so it animates in. Okay, so that's what we got so far. Now I don't actually like what's going on. We've got this second one folding in, but it's behind. So all I'm going to do, you can see it's that little bit there, it sort of tucks away behind it, and I don't want it doing that. So I'm just going to put hill right on top, and that's fine. So there we go. Right, so we've got that, and we're already on our way there. So I'll come to the end of this one. The next one I want is the tent. So let's turn this on, and this is going to be a positional keyframe. So let's hit P, and let's drag this down, like so, and let's set an initial keyframe. Come forward 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Let's drag it up, and we want it to come just a little bit too far, and then let's come forward 1, 2, 3 keyframes, and then drag it back so it sort of goes up a little bit and then comes back down. So what have we got so far? These come in, and this one pops up and then comes back down. I'm just going to RAM preview or play that bit just so I can see how the animation's working, because that may pop up too fast or pop back down too fast. Okay, so we can see at the beginning an initial issue. We can just see the top of the tent there. So I'm going to come to where this keyframe is for the first one and just drag it down a touch. And so now that should be gone. So let's give that another play. So it comes up. I think it settles down a little bit too fast. So let's move both of them out. So that's 13, 14 frames between these two. And let's get that one. So that's another 4. So let's give that a play and see if that's working better. Okay, and we'll ease this keyframe as well. So let's just check how many keyframes did this take so we can keep it consistent. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so 14 and 5. So let's carry that onto the Helter Skelter. So let's turn it on, drag it, no, wrong one. Hit P, drag this down so it's completely out. Okay, let's turn off hill right just so we can see, yes, it's completely gone. Let's set a keyframe for it. Come forward, I think 14, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Let's drag it up, and remember, go a little bit, give it a little bit of overshoot, so a little bit too far, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Drag it back down like so. And we're just going to keep repeating this, and then we're going to smooth them. So for the festival tent, hit P, drag it down so it's completely out down here. Hit a keyframe, go forward 14 frames. A little hint, when you're hitting page down, if you hold shift, it'll jump 10 frames. That's 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. And let's drag it up, give it a little bit of overshoot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and drag it back down, something like this. You can also use the arrow keys up and down, give it something, there you go. Next is the speakers. So you can see this is quite a fast process, it's quite a simple project, this one. So let's drag the speakers down so they're completely out. Hit position, give it a keyframe, come forward 14, so hold shift, jumps 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. And let's drag these up, give them a little bit of overshoot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Drag them back down. Okay, let's have a look at our animation so far. So let's pull this out, so it's this bit we're previewing. Hit spacebar. Okay, so we got that. Okay. It's a little bit fast, so I want them all to kind of take a little longer. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select all of these keyframes for these positional ones, and I'm going to hit Alt, hold Alt, sorry, and click and drag them so they take a little bit longer. Just stretch them out. So let's see how that's working now. Okay, it's looking a little bit better, I think. You can spend time finessing each and individual one, but I'm not going to in this case. What I want to do is when each asset comes back down, I want it to easy ease into this keyframe. So we've used keyframe assistant before. Let's right click and keyframe assistant easy ease in. Okay, so it eases into it. And let's do this one, this one, this one. Right click, keyframe assistant easy ease in. Okay, and that's all of them. So let's have a look and see if we can notice any difference. And also, I think, let's enable motion blur. If you can't see this motion blur icon, just hit toggle switches and then you'll see it. So I'm going to turn it on for everything, apart from you don't need it on the sky or the background. And we'll animate the sign next. And also make sure it's turned on for the composition. So let's see how much of a difference those things have made. So let's give this a preview. It'll take a little bit longer to cache in this time, but you know, it's worth it. So there we go. It's got a little bit of an ease into those. Right, so let's see it again now. So they come in, they're a little bit fast. That Helter Skelter's a little bit fast. I'd modify that if I had time. Okay, let's have another look. So these, I want these to take, these page turns, I want these to take longer. So let's highlight them, Alt, drag, and now we need to offset all these keyframes to start in line by there. Sorry, that was my phone. There we go, and I want these to take longer as well. So Alt and drag, and maybe just highlight them all, and then again Alt and drag just a little bit. So take a little bit longer, and this is, hopefully I'll make it a bit smoother. So let's have a look. Okay, it's looking better, even though it's just still caching in. It is looking like it's going to be a little bit better. So let's have a look. There you go, slower. Cool. And the last thing we want to animate is the sign. So let's turn the sign on, and let's get the position keyframes up for that. First of all, we're going to check how many keyframes are between these two so we know. So let's go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's hold shift. 10, that's 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. So there's 24 between these two. So we know it needs to be 24 when this one comes down, just to keep it consistent. But it does travel less, so I may go for around 18. Anyway, it's all about playing around with it. So let's move this up out of view, like so. Set a positional keyframe, come forward about 18, so that's 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, let's go with 16. And let's set a keyframe, drag it down, so set a keyframe but dragging it down, give it a little bit of overshoot, like so, there you go, and then come forward about, so we went 16, let's come forward about 6, and then just drag it backwards a little bit. Okay, and we're going to easy ease in this keyframe. Okay, so let's have a look at this as a whole now, or let's just have a look at the ending because we know the beginning was alright. Let's preview that. Okay, cool. Right then, that's all working for us, so we can minimize these. There is one thing I want to just quickly do before I go back. So these hill left and hill right, something I forgot to do was so if we go back to the beginning, we can kind of see, if we zoom in, there's a little bit of opacity there. It's on 85% opacity by default, so let's just turn it up to 100 on each of them, and then that's going to look a lot better. So we've got Festival Animation Asset 2. This is this composition, all animated up until 8 seconds. So let's just give it 9 seconds, so you have a little bit of time to see it all. Okay, what I'm going to do is, this composition's currently 10 seconds. I only want to use about 9 seconds, so I've shortened it. And if we right click this grey area like so, we can trim the composition to our work area, so it just trims that end off. So it's now down to 9 seconds. Okay, I'm going to make a new composition new, and let's call it Final Fest Animation. Let's click OK. Those are the presets we want. Let's actually make it about 14 seconds. Okay, so what we can do now is drag Festival Animation Asset 2, which is the composition we just worked in like so. And so this is what we've just created, but it's just flattened, if you like, into a sort of folder. Okay, so that's the 9 seconds, and then it goes blank. What we want is this blue background still there. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to go back into here, this sky background I called it. Let's copy this. So Control or Command C, Command V, so we've copied it in, and we want to offset it, so click and drag the layer so it starts after this, okay, like so. Another way you could have done that is put this, so turn the eye off, use the page up and page down to come to the very end, like so, and then press, with this layer selected, the square bracket key, and it'll offset it. Sorry, let's go back one, square bracket key. So then we have, goes into that, sorry, the eye was off. There we go. Cool, so it goes into that. And the other thing I want to do now is put text on there. So let's go August 2018. Okay. And you can we've done animating type, animation presets and all keyframe stuff before, so you can have it animating in if you want. I'm just going to pick a I'm not going to spend too long picking the typeface because just for the sake of the tutorial. Let's go with, I mean, I said I'm not going to take too long picking it, and I am. Let's go with, I'm just going to go with that. I'm just going to go with that. It's a boring one, but you know, pick a good one. I'm going to make it a little bit bigger. Is there bold? No. Okay, let me just have a look for another one. Is there a bold in this? There you go. Make it a little bit bigger, and I'm going to use. You've done blending modes in Photoshop before. If you haven't, then we've got them in here as well. If you click toggle switches, you've got mode by here. The one I'm going to use is linear dodge. No, not linear dodge. It's linear burn. And I may change the colour of it. I think I used linear burn in the other one. Or you can cycle through and have a look. If I change it to like a little bit of a grey, yeah, that's the one I want to go for. And I missed out the 8. Okay, let's click OK. Make sure I highlight that 8 as well. And yeah, so it's sort of greyish like that. Cool. So that's on linear burn, and I changed my text to a little bit of a grey so it takes effect. Now, if we scroll through, we can see August 2018 is on top of everything, and that's because Festival Asset Animation composition, which we did earlier, that finishes at 9 seconds, and then the sky layer, the blue background, starts at 9 seconds, but the text layer is on throughout. So all we need to do is have it start at the same time as this sky background. So then when we do that, line it up, it does that. Okay, so I only want this from 9 to about 13 seconds. So I'm going to drag this bit in, right click, trim comp to work area. So then we've got this. Now the only other thing I want to show you is importing sound. So if you double click to import, and I've got a Calvin Harris song, you can use anything you want. Click, import, and then we've got this MP3 in here. Click and drag down, and I think it should, let me turn my sound up, it should start previewing the song when it's cached in. Did turn my sound off earlier. I think it should work. Yeah, there you go. So it's in there. It's a little bit laggy, but the reason it was going sort of, you know, fast and slow is it wasn't previewing at real time, because my laptop isn't the best. I'm waiting for my computer to be fixed. But yeah, when you render it, it'll be normal. The only thing I wanted to show you is obviously you can move this along and cut it to wherever you want. Alt and the bracket key, or just click like that and use whatever part of the song you want. But the only bit I wanted to show you was, let's say you get to the end and you want to, for the last second and a half, you want to fade the music out. The way you do that is click down on the MP3, click down on the audio, and come to audio levels. 0 decibels is like the default it comes in as, so it's not completely silent. It doesn't mean it's completely silent, that's just as the volume the music was imported at. So click a keyframe just to set it at its initial normal volume, come forward and chuck it down to -50 or something, and you can look at the waveform, this drop down, you can see it gets quieter. So let's preview that end bit. Again, my music's probably going to sound funny because it's not going to be playing back in real time. Okay, sounds a bit weird with that, but that's it. So I'm not going to play the whole thing through, but you know, you've got music in there, you've got this little cool animation. So yeah, cheers for tuning in, and I'll catch you soon.